Yeah, definitely. I can still hear you
Right.
now.
Is the sound okay?
Oh,
Do you
good.
think it's okay? It's too loud or yeah?
Yeah. Yep. Sound is absolutely perfect. I can hear you
All
really
right.
clearly.
Even now that my phone is going in sleep mode, is it okay?
Yeah, I can hear you
All
crystal clear.
right. Nice. I'm sorry for the yeah. Like I was just
No apology. No apology needed. I think Spaces is new for quite a lot of people. It was well, we tested it last
all right.
week, so it was quite new for us as well.
Yeah, it's weird because I mean I can access it and see everything on my computer as well, but yeah, I just cannot have the request like co-hosting and stuff. So, anyways, here we go.
Yeah.
Hey Mick, hey Jack, hey Cynthia, everyone. Oh Novi, hi guys.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's quite late for you over there at the
yeah,
moment, isn't
it
it?
is. I mean, it's okay. It's usually the time I get some interaction with people when I used to stream and stuff. It was at this time because that's where people
Yeah.
is alive. But yeah, it's 11 p.m.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just in the afternoon here. So no, all good. So, well, just quickly for everybody who's joined, what we wanted TPN to do is just get people talking. We all scroll through our feeds, we all message each other or put comments on each other. We wanted to do something where it's a bit more interactive, where we speak to people, we can get the community involved. Obviously, this is the first one, so we'll see how it goes and how we can tweak it. But basically, it's just a simple chat, asking some questions from us at TPM, some from the community, and then at the end, if anybody on the space wants to jump in and speak up and ask a question as well. And yeah, just get people talking, get people engaged. And thank you so much for being the first person to take
Man,
part.
thank you for having me. I'm so happy. I'm very excited about this.
So we've got a mix of questions from us at TPM. We've got some from the comments from the
Mhm.
community. So what I'll do is I'll mix up a few of those. We don't want to. You've done a lot of interviews before, so I don't want to retread a lot of old ground. A lot of people know bits and pieces about you from other interviews. So I thought we'd just go for some questions that maybe haven't been
Mhm.
asked, and something which, from looking at the community and things that are going on in the community, what people want to know, what they would like to ask, um, to help their process and their VP as well. So let's kick off with your involvement in helping build Photomode. So I know you've talked a little bit about it before,
Yeah.
but it's something that, personally, if I was you, I would be super super proud of it. Um, Firstly, how did you go about it? Did they approach you first? Did you approach them?
Okay, so yeah, it really depends on the game. So I've been just if people still don't know that, or so as you said, I've covered this a couple of times, but obviously not everyone is reading interviews and stuff. So I'm happy to explain it again. So I've been involved in 3 photo modes so far. Um, the fourth one I'm involved right now, but I mean I didn't sign anything, so I can talk about it, but I just don't know where it goes. So it's on the Callisto protocol that I'm
Yeah,
helping a bit. But anyways, it's so far I'm not sure something will come out of it, but I'm talking with the game director. So I've been doing for Mortal Shell and then for The Shore indie game, but that was very
yeah,
very different from the other ones. And then the last one was Deathloop with Arcane Studio. So the first one, Mortal Shell, was a bit different from the others because that was the first one, so it was more by accident than anything else. So they approached me. It was actually PlayStack, the publisher, who approached me first, but I didn't know that was them. It was on the account, like Twitter account of the game, but that's usually the publishers that are handling it. Handling it. Pardon
yeah,
my English. So they approached me because I did some pictures of the beta, open beta they did before the release of the game, and they asked me if I wanted to make more. so I used at that time I did the shot with the UUU, the camera tools by Franz Buma on PC, and then I said, yeah, sure, tell me what I need to do. So I was expecting them to give me the game or something like that, but they stopped. They didn't answer for a couple of weeks, I think, at the time, and then they announced the release date early August, and then I reached out to one of the founder of the studio on Discord.
Yeah.
And then we started to talk, and I said, look, if you want to have a photo mode, I can help and stuff. And he said, yeah, that's actually in the pipes, but we really don't know. We have something very, what's the word, flesh bone, like really basic stuff.
Yeah.
So he created a group on Discord with 3 other devs, and we started to talk like this actually. So after that, it was a day job. Like every day I was helping.
Yeah. Did you find when you were speaking with the devs about the photo modes, was there any blockers, or was there any limitations that you came across which you expected, you didn't expect?
So again, it depends on the game. So for Mortal Shell, because it's an indie studio, it was much more easy to just bring IDs and they would just test stuff. So that's why we have the no camera range at all. They were a bit worried about this at first, and they wanted to keep the collision, like you cannot go through the walls. But this kind of stuff, we just talk about it, and I was just explaining why it would be beneficial for the creativity and stuff. Other than that, with Deathloop, it was a bit different because it's a AAA game, and obviously they have a different organization of the work and the deadlines and stuff like this. So in this case, we had I think it was 3 different steps with every time 2 or 3 weeks between it. And so I was testing a build. I was giving my feedback. We have a meeting on Teams. So I was working with a producer and the main dev in charge of the Photomode team. I think there were 15 people on the team for Deathloop. And on the Photomode team, I mean. And then we had the feedback and stuff. So I was like, yeah, camera range, come on, you can do better. And and then I had 3 weeks to wait, and they would give me the next build, and then I would rinse and repeat, do another feedback and stuff like this. So we did this 3 or 4 times in 3 months or something like this.
What's really interesting what you said there is that what we probably don't understand as VPs actually using the photo modes. You said there was 15 people looking at the photo mode, and how it works is how many people it actually takes to put it together. So you don't really appreciate probably the amount of work that goes into actually building that into the game.
Yeah, because
it doesn't sound it.
On Mortal Shell, for instance, it was basically just 2 guys at first, and then after the update, it was just 1 guy. So I'm not, I'm not programmer or whatever. So I really just give advices and feedbacks. But I'm just a playtester, but specialized in Photomode, if you will. So I have no idea how complicated things are or stuff like this. But indeed, for Deathloop, I think, I'm not sure 100%, but I think there were 15. I was interacting just with 2 guys, so, but I'm not sure what, I mean, they are not just for the photo mode, those guys. It's just like a task force team that they put on when they need a photo mode. But I'm not sure if it's really, if it's really hard to put some stuff in, so for the Callisto protocol, for instance, I did the same as usual. I gave a huge, maybe too big document with with feedbacks and advices. Firstly, on how to improve the features that are already there, and then how to, like, what kind of feature they could add in the mix to make it better. And then they waited, and like at some point, Glenn Schofield, the game director, said that he really wanted to do like an update or something because people were really enjoying the photo mode and he was enjoying the creativity of people and stuff. And then didn't say anything anymore, and then came back and asked me what, like he said, maybe we will not do anything after all because it's time consuming and money consuming, and no one is giving us money for that. Like, I guess the publishers and stuff are not really into giving money after the launch of the game or stuff like this. So he was looking for the most, like the really most important features. So I was like, okay, so if you want to go really fast and cheap, just put a vertical tilt and no camera range, or like a longer range, and it will be already a big upgrade. But yeah, I'm not sure it will go somewhere.
I mean, it's clear from the games that you've been involved with, the involvement you've had. When you look at the range, all the tools that are in there, even down to the filters.
Yeah, because
the colors.
It's actually a lot of little things you don't think about. And even though I did it a couple of times now, I still sometimes I afterward I'm like, what, that's weird, that feels weird. Or someone tell me, Mick that is here, gave me this great feedback on when he tested Mortal Shell. Like I swapped the L1 R1 button and L2 R2, like with the crane of the movement of the camera and the menuing. And I don't know why I did this, because that's on me. I asked them to put the camera crane on R1 and L1 for some reason, which is stupid because it's not as precise, And Mick saw this, and then I asked them to update it in a later update.
Yeah.
So this kind of stuff, it's a lot of little thing. Like, what would you put in the first tab? Organizing the features, or the FOV, like the FOV, sometimes it's really small, so you're like, oh, you can zoom in much more because you will need it to have like a portrait on black background and stuff. You really need to be able to go zoom in, or the same for super wide range. They just don't know because they're not photographers usually, so it's this kind of feedback that you can give that helps.
Yeah. But no, I mean, like I said, the photo modes that you've been involved in, they're brilliant photo modes. And when you compare them to some of the photo modes that we get in some of the games which we've had recently, which, for some are disappointing, not as much limitation. It's, it's clear to see the importance that some studios take on the photo modes and see the benefits of it.
Yeah, definitely. And it's usually simple stuff, like I really cannot fathom why God of War has this kind of features. It makes really no sense for but I guess it has an explanation.
So I'm late to the party of the PS5, so I've only just got a PS5, just started God of War. I've just come from playing Horizon Forbidden West, and the God of War photo mode. It's frustrating. I mean, don't get me wrong, we've got a photo mode. It's brilliant. We can take pictures. And I think especially for console players, if it doesn't have a photo mode, we don't have another option. I know obviously for PC players, you've got the tools that you use. And obviously you've used PCs and you've used consoles. What for you is? I know the tools give you more flexibility. You can do more things with it.
It's like
so.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, which, as from your point of view, which do you prefer? Do you think is it easier to have less options potentially with a console photo mode, or the more flexibility with the PC tools?
Yeah, it's kind of
Do you think this process?
it's kind of funny actually, because you're absolutely right. There are pros and cons for both, obviously. PC is like, we are like blessed and very spoiled kids with PC tools and stuff like this, but somehow it's sometimes a bit frustrating because, like, yeah, as you said, I like to play with a simple photo mode, because it narrows down your possibilities, and you I don't know, like, I really love the Plague Tale Requiem photo mode. I think it was
Yeah,
really interesting. And God of War 1, like the old one, I actually like it. Like, the camera movement and range is really shit, but other than that, it's not that bad to have just simple features. And sometimes on PC, you have too many possibilities, and then you end up doing the same shot as everyone. Like, okay, I might
yeah,
come off a bit critical here, but like, just putting your character in a big wide open space, and then it's a shot and everyone likes it because it looks beautiful, but it's not that
yeah,
interesting, like, creativity speaking. I and
yeah.
sometimes I do this, obviously, because you don't have a photo mode in a game, and then you have a beautiful game, and it's really the easy shot to take. You just put your character in, like, super far. It looks beautiful. And
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, yeah, I mean, I could do better. And actually, a proper photo mode with sometimes a short range. Oh, God, I'm gonna say this, but yeah, sometimes it helps to just be focused on more action shots or portraits or whatever. And yeah, it's actually, I need a bit of both. I need a bit of both in my life.
And I suppose with the extra things you can do in the PC tools sometimes, and this leads quite nicely into a question from Josh BLM that we had on Twitter, is if the more options you've got, you probably fiddle around with it a lot more. So from your experience, do you spend a lot of time on shots? He basically says when you're getting an image, what's the usual time you take to get a shot? I mean, obviously it's a bit of a broad question. There's lots of shots, but do you take your pictures quickly? Do you take your time?
Uh,
From your process point of view?
so yeah, obviously, again, it depends a lot. I'm sure everyone who's listening now just has the same problem. Sometimes you just work so hard on a shot, it takes, like, I don't know, a half an hour easy. Especially if you post edit, it can become way more time consuming. Usually, I would say that I shoot pretty fast. I don't have a lot of scrap. I mean, usually, if I shoot, I will share it at some point. I'd say between 10 minutes for a quick shot, and yeah, I think I still need 10 minutes to be sure of everything, or check all the angles and stuff, and then all the possibilities with the filters or whatever you want to use. And it can go to 1 hour for a shot. It's not the most usual, but yeah, I think
Yeah.
it can go that far.
That makes me sound really quick. I mine are probably a minute or two lining up the shot. If I see it, it looks nice. I try and take it as quick as possible.
But
But then
some
I
people are just better at doing this faster than me. That's it. I'm
yeah.
not saying that the
But then
most time you put in, the better your shot is. That's not true. I mean, yeah,
yeah,
kind of. It can be, but it really depends on what you use your time for. So,
exactly. It depends on your process. I mean, I may take quick shots, but then I do a lot of editing.
mm,
So if I don't capture it right in the quick shot, I tend to edit it, maybe edit bits in, out, play around with it. So yeah, it's everybody has their process, different
sure.
times, and that kind of thing. So I mean, obviously there's lots of games, lots of shots to take.
Yeah.
We can get stuck into a game, drawn into a game. But every now and then, I think everybody's gone through this. We see it a lot on
Hmm.
Twitter. Every now and then you play a game, you finish it, and then it's what do I do
Mm.
now? And you get kind of a creative block. how do you get creative blocks? And if so, how do you overcome them? Is it something you suffer with, or?
So I'm not sure it's really creative block, but I do have a lot of moments where I'm just fed up with taking too many shots or spending too much time on a shot and then not playing the game. That's another question I got on that I want to answer. I really take a lot of time to shoot compared to the time I play the game. So mostly I never finish the game because I'm just done with it just because I take too many shots. I takes too much time in I feel like I'm not going forward in the game and that the end is so far away and I'm like, oh god, there are so many other games that I want to play. So I was shooting Atomic Heart nowadays that I really enjoy, but now I bought a PS5 and then I have Demon Souls finally. So I'm like, come on, I cannot do both. So I think I'm not sure yet, but I think I'm done with Atomic Heart until maybe next year. I don't know.
Yeah.
I tend to try to come back to finish games when I'm bored with others. But yeah, it's more this that I'm just fed up, and then what I do is I stop playing because I cannot play a game without shooting in it anymore. I really I can't. So I just stop playing and I watch movies instead. The time I would put in a game, I put it in a series or a movie for a couple of days, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm fine, can go back.
Exactly. Take a break. Think about something else. Exactly. And what's your biggest influence within VP? So other people can get influence from other people's shots or certain types of art, that kind of thing. What influences you? Because I'd say you have a kind of style to your shots, not necessarily portrait, that kind of an art style. So what influences you with your shots? Where do you get your biggest influence for virtual photography?
I think it might sound a bit cocky, I don't know, but it's not that I'm getting inspired by others. It's just I want to do something else that what I saw a lot. So it's kind of a negative inspiration. I watch a lot of shots. I'm like, okay, that's nice, that's beautiful or fantastic. Now, what is my space? What can I bring to the table? That's my thinking process usually. So yeah, I just want again, if I end up, because I do, with all the shots I do, of course I not all of them are super original and great ideas, and not at all. So sometimes I just do simple shot, I would say, like I'm not putting too much energy into it, and it's just beautiful and it's fine. But usually I will get a bit annoyed by this quickly, and I will be like, yeah, okay, I'm not giving anything new. Like others do the same type of shots probably better than me because they have a better, I don't know, technical exigence. I'm not that much into technical stuff, and so yeah, I want to find an angle. I want to find something that is more like me, I guess.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So I love the work of some people, of course, like a lot of people that are here. But recently, I've been really, really impressed with disco Photomode.
So Disco's VP is brilliant.
She's got this. She's got absolutely this little plus in some shots. This creativity that when I see the shot, I'm like, damn, I wanted to do that. Why did I? That's really something I admire. So a lot of people have this, obviously, but that's what draws me. I'm like, I want this little plus. That can be anything, that can be really just a DOF setting that is a bit bolder than usual, or just a color theory that is on point. Composition, obviously.
Yeah, no. Brilliant. So we've touched on obviously you being involved in helping design the photo modes, but I notice a lot as well that you get quite early access to the game. So I know a lot of people get early access. So for people who maybe starting out in VP or been in VP a while and haven't really had that chance, is there any way you go about it? Is it something again where you just get approached?
So no, again, I mean, in my experience, maybe it's different for you guys. I don't know, but in my experience, first you have to ask a lot. So I see some people sometimes complaining, oh yeah, I'm not big enough or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about that, right? It's really just a matter of knowing who you ask and how to ask. So I'm learning this because sometimes PR people, they are giving advices sometimes on Twitter. They are like, oh, don't approach me like this or like that or whatever. So I try to be to pay attention to this. And then it's just when you have a foot in the door, it becomes easier. So, for instance, I'm part of the creative circle of 505 Games, the publishers.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure how it started. I guess it's because I shot a lot of their games and they kind of started interacting with me on Twitter. And then they asked me to join this program. It's this kind of program that a lot of not studios but publishers have. So basically, I'm on the Discord, like a Discord for creators, and they give us games. So basically, any game that is published by 505 Games, I can have it. Then I kind of have the same thing, but I'm not part of any program or whatever, but I do have a contact with someone for Focus Entertainment. I think this guy, I got him when I was trying to help with a Plague Tale Photomode, which I never could do for many reasons, actually, but I was speaking with Asobo a lot, and then they asked me they put me in contact with Focus Entertainment, and then this guy, who is, I don't know actually exactly what he does, but he's probably in charge of creators and stuff. So usually when Focus have a game, I just give him a DM and he send me a key in a minute. So that's pretty cool. But other than that, it's really, I spend a lot of time asking in DMs and being ignored, and just like anyone. So I guess the important thing that they will check if you ask a key and they actually read your message is maybe if you're active. I'm not sure the big numbers are that important. Yeah, sure. If you have 100 followers, maybe they will not be super interested, but still I think it's more like the activity on your account, and maybe if you're really focused on one thing, you just, that's why I share only VP. I'm never sharing anything else, like usually.
I think sometimes you just gotta be cheeky. You just gotta ask.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't be afraid to ask the questions.
Definitely.
Approach. I mean, I've messaged loads of people. Some have been really good. I know we've spoken about Focus before. They've been really good. And some you don't get anything back. And I don't think it's specifically sometimes special treatment. I think it's just sometimes you've got to put yourself out there.
I mean, it's really the way I live my life. To be fair, it's just like, if you want something, get it. If you don't get it, don't cry that you're not good enough or whatever. It's just like, pull your finger out of the ass and just go ask what you want, and don't be all whiny and stuff if you don't get it. I mean, I don't know how many % of games I get compared to what I ask, but it's not a lot. It's not a lot.
Exactly. But yeah, you just got to ask, haven't you? You just got to ask.
And
so obviously VP is really, really popular. We know there's a massive community for it. And we've got a question from Virtual Coder Chrome on Twitter. So where do you see VP going in the next 5 years within kind of from a development point of view and maybe what we'll get in games and also from an artistic community as a whole? So, you know, do you see it growing? Do you see it migrating to other apps?
I think I answered this maybe in one interview a few years back, I mean, maybe 2 years back, and I probably answered something like, yeah, it will grow and that will be nice. And actually, yeah, that happened. So woohoo, I'm a freaking medium. No, I have no clue. I have no clue. What I mean, if it follows the path of the last 5 years, I guess it will grow bigger and we will have, I used to say we will have better photo modes and then God of War came. And I'm like, okay, well, no. And, even Horizon Forbidden West, I didn't play it, but I saw the photo mode and I'm like, no, what? Why? No, I want only Insomniac photo mode. Like, that's the minimum now. That's the minimum. When I work with a studio, I mean, when I work with two studios, they always ask me, so what photo mode should we check? Which one is a good one? Which one is a bad one? And then you're like, oh, which one do you know? And they're like, God of War. And you're like, yeah, okay, forget about this one and go on Days Gone. So that's the more good photo modes we will have in big games, the more influence they will get or reference they will get, and we should have better photo modes. But I'm not sure. I'm really not sure because there is the other side of the problem, which is, I mean, they're not fools, right? They know that it brings publicity and it brings advertisement and it's free for them. So we have this other problem now that become a bit usual. Apparently, it's like the game release without photo mode, and then they put a photo mode 6 months after to get a second wind. But it's not working that well in my experience, because if you're done with the game, you don't really come back just to take pictures. I mean, it feels like it's not the majority of us that would do this. Or you just come back to check the photo mode, and then after 1 week it's done. What
I think they're trying to do a bit of clever marketing, aren't they? But generally it backfires.
So what they should do is something like Control, Remedy, they have this game that is super weird. They have this photo mode that is really not great, and yet it's one of the most creative shots I've seen, and it's like for 5 years it doesn't stop. People still shoot this, and this is a goal for photo modes in games, in my opinion. So instead of just having the mandatory photo mode few months later with shitty and really minimum features, I hope it will go into another direction where studios will be more involved with us and more open to our feedbacks and stuff like this. But I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Even that jump in the past, the past years, we can see how far it's come on. And if it, as you said, if it keeps going on that trajectory, it'd be absolutely brilliant. So I've got one more question from the community on Twitter, then I'll open it up to any of our listeners if they've got any questions. So Nobody Blue says, obviously based on a lot of your photography coming from PCs, does a PC spec play an important part in the photography, obviously from a graphic point of view? How important is it to have a great spec PC, especially for virtual photography, or with camera tools? Does it matter if you have a high spec?
I wish I could answer no, it doesn't matter at all, but it kind of does, but not on every aspect, right? It's really just like traditional photography. You can shoot with how it's called, like a camera that you throw after you use it once and you throw it. How it's called in English? Whatever, you understand. you not reusable.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So it's not a great camera, right? But you can adapt to it, and of course you will not do great portraits or macro photography, but you will be able to do some stuff, right? So if you know your tool, you're able to adjust and to make good pictures out of anything. But obviously, if you have the best camera on the market, of course your pictures will look better and will technically they will be more beautiful and stuff. So with your PC, it's the same. If you have a great 4K stuff and you are able to hot sample your shots in 16K, of course they will look better. But what are you shooting? Are you shooting just a wall, or are you making a beautiful composition and stuff? So
Exactly. It's down to artistic creativity as well, isn't
absolutely.
it? Is you don't always have to have a crystal clear shot for it to
So
be a beautiful shot. You can have a grainy shot, an out of focus shot. So,
exactly. But I mean, if you want to go that extra mile on the quality, you will need better specs on your PC. That's that's just the way it is. But it will never replace a good composition and a good eye and a good color theory and whatever. So
exactly,
it's important.
Definitely not.
It's important because it's also more comfortable to shoot with better specs, because the game runs smoother and stuff. But it's not the main point, I guess. And when I started to shoot with my PS4, which is not even a Pro, it's just a PS4, and even now, if I share some, that's another important thing to acknowledge, is that people watch this on their phone. So you can really go super far in the quality stuff, and even if Twitter is not that bad now because you have the 4K stuff, still people are just scrolling down and they don't notice stuff. So mostly just work on your shots and your eye and your composition again, and if you can have better specs down the road, just go for it. But that's not the main point.
Perfect. Okay, to finish up then, let's see if anybody we've got listening wants to ask a question. If you want to ask a question, if you just request to speak, and I'll pick that up and you can ask your question.
Hey, George.
Don't be afraid. I see we've got quite a few confident people on here. Let's see if we can get some questions coming in from them. I know, Jack, you've probably got lots of questions.
I don't know those people. Who is this?
Don't let me down now.
He asked something. Nick asked something, I think, but I cannot even understand the comment. I've noticed that your shots have evolved towards central. Come on. Yeah, you're right. I will answer that. So if I don't answer like during this live, because it will be too long, the question you ask on Twitter, guys, I will answer your comment on Twitter later, because I want to answer everyone. So anyone want to ask something now? I'm still awake.
I know you're still. Yeah, I don't think anybody's brave enough. Okay, I'll take one of the community questions we had on the comments out in the week. So we've got VP Ablito, I think it is. Hopefully I've pronounced that right. So do you think that closed VP specific social platforms, like Pick a Shot for an example, have a chance of growing big enough to become a real alternative to Twitter, or do you think that VP still needs to be out in the open mainstream spaces of exchange?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I've think about it for the last couple of days, because I like this app, the new applications that are out, like oh fuck, they just made me win a super big prize. Capture or Pick a Shot, or it's really nice that they put this much energy in building this kind of stuff. But no, I don't think it will grow big enough to become a real alternative to Twitter, for a simple reason. It's that, I mean, sure, if you want to address your work and show your work only to your peer, like the photographers and virtual photographers out there, those apps, what, how it's called in English, apps, right? These apps,
Yeah, perhaps,
they are
yeah.
great and it's nice, but people just want likes. They want numbers.
Yeah.
You can judge this as you want, but you want numbers. I want numbers. And
Yeah.
when you see shots from Horizon Zero Dawn or Forbidden West or whatever, or The Last of Us, it's not 600 likes of 600 virtual photographers. That's game fan base, and that's fine, right? I do
Yeah.
bigger numbers on bigger games and lower. It's the way it is. It's absolutely normal. But then, if you want this, you cannot get it on an app that is made just for photographers. And
Exactly. I don't think there's the level of social interaction as well, isn't it? As much as people might be quite introverted and not very social, things like Twitter or Facebook, it's the VP, but it's also the social aspect of it. And I've dabbled with Pick a Shot, but I don't know whether it has the kind of interaction social parts that Twitter does.
yeah. And
But like you said, if you just want to show your shots,
And there is
brilliant.
another big difference, in my opinion, that is probably not gonna change, is that on Twitter you can interact with studios, with community managers, with PR, all those people that will bring your shots, or the games pages that will retweet your work and you will feel so great about it. This will not happen on Capture or on Picashot. So it's really just a different space. It's completely different purpose, and I don't think it will replace it. No, I don't want it to replace it. I like Twitter the best. I tried to get involved a bit more, but it's just too much work to put your shots.
Yeah.
I tried to not put the same shots everywhere, just for people to not watch 5 times the same shot I posted today.
Yeah.
But come on,
Yeah.
it's too complicated. So I'm just on Twitter mainly, and I think it's a great
Yeah.
space, even though it's getting nuts now. But yeah.
Yeah, we won't even get into that can of worms, that topic. So I've seen we've got Photo Mode Reviews as requested to speak, who's got a question. So if I just approve you, Photo Mode Reviews,
Yeah.
would you like to ask your question? Are you there,
Oh,
Photo Mode
hello. Yes.
Reviews?
Sorry, I didn't
Hey,
realize
hello, man.
I had to put on. Hey, sorry, I'm hopping on here late, so you might have totally already gone into this, and I don't want you to repeat yourself. But
Okay.
I'm curious, and I meant to just ask you this at some point, but now feels like a good time. What is the process of like talking with a studio about their photo mode? Again, if you already
Yeah.
went into the, you do not have to repeat it. I'll find this info later from you. But yeah, I'm just so curious about that.
So we have had this question and we have recorded
Yes.
this. So do you wanna summarize it, Shinobi,
No,
or do you want
no,
to
I'm
pick?
not able to summarize. I'm always too.
No, that's good.
So
That's fine.
yeah. It first. You will be able to listen to this on the record, on the VOD, like the. I was about to say VOD, but yeah, you get it on the replay. And I covered this also in different interviews, so you can find on my website. I do have a page with all the interviews I made, or I gave. So yeah, but yeah, sorry, mate. We had that talk before.
No
But
worries. I kind
just
of figured it was
just
there.
want
So
to use the time you're on to really congratulate you again on your work, guys. If you don't know what this guy does, he makes some photo mode reviews on YouTube. It's very great format. It's really short, very well produced, super clear, and check his Twitter. It's the same name. So photo mode review on. I said Twitter, but I wanted to say YouTube. So that really cool.
Yeah, we'll definitely check that out.
I appreciate
Yeah,
you for the shout out.
my
Thanks
pleasure.
for talking.
Thanks, Photo Mode Reviews. Cynthia
Ooh,
Skywalker, you had a question.
Cynthia.
You are now on.
Hello.
Yes, Cynthia.
Hi.
Happy to hear
I'm
you.
here. No. Shinobi, my question is, what do you do, if anything, outside of actually taking shots to maybe increase your knowledge, such as like, do you have any training in the arts, or do you watch videos on YouTube and maybe other art forms such as photography or, photo manipulation, watch videos on color theory, anything like that
So
to improve?
that's a great question. Thank you.
Good one.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. Okay, so
Of course.
I do have a background in art because I did my studies, like my university was art. So I was studying art theory and practice, which covered
Very cool.
painting, sculpting, is it a word in English? And cinema, photography as well. We had a different and art history, of course. So I had this when I was younger because I'm now 42. So yeah, it was 20 years ago. And I got a master with this. And then I completely changed my life and became a French teacher in Japan. I'm French and I live in Japan. And so I started to take pictures, like traditional photography, if you will, when I moved in Japan because it was just beautiful. And then my art practice completely disappeared on like drawing and painting. I don't do it anymore, and it really became the photography stuff. And then I start to do it in video games, and that's mainly my creative process is really just this. And as far as what I watch or whatever, I'm a terrible student. So I'm a good teacher, but I'm a terrible student. Maybe that's the reason why. And I don't really watch a lot of, tutorials or stuff like this. But every time, and I used to do this on Twitch, every time I want to improve something, I will do the laziest stuff. I'm gonna Google how to take a portrait, for instance, and then I will find like 2 or 3 first websites that make this type of top 10 tips for portraits, very basic stuff. And I will watch this and try to apply this really basic advices, and then I will, with a empiric way, I will start to work my way and to find my stuff I like to improve, and a lot of observation. Watching you guys shots, I'm like, oh wow, how it helps if it's a game you already played and shot, because you know the game and you're like, wait, how did they do this effect or whatever, this angle? Oh, that's a great idea. And then I will try to maybe reproduce it, at least at some point. It's just somewhere in my head, and yeah, it will help, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not doing much.
I think just
I think that's a lot.
I think just tagging on to that as well, you say about seeing other people's images, whether it's an angle
Yeah.
or a type of shot, is, from a personal experience, I'd say to, new and old VPs is, reach out to the people. If you've seen someone who's got a particular style, particular shot, don't be afraid to speak to these people and ask for
Absolutely.
advice. I've spoken to, quite a few people on this space now, and other people who are more than happy to share their learnings and teachings, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
definitely ask people as well if you see something you want to learn how to do or progress.
And when I used to do this on Twitch, it was really fun for me to just actually learn myself, just applying basic advices I saw on Google. I was just applying them live, and then people would interact and say, oh, ask questions, and I was like, okay, I never thought about this. And then you just grow together, right? So that's really the fun part.
Yeah.
So yeah, interaction, guys.
Yes. Thanks, Cynthia.
Thank you.
We've got time for one more question.
I love
I
your
think
work.
we've got Photomode of Toshima wanting to ask a question. I've seen you popped a question in your comments, so let me just approve your request. There you go. You should be able to speak now. but you're on mute at the
Oh, you're
moment.
talking to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello. How are you?
Yeah. Good, thanks.
Sorry, I kind of exited the app on accident for a quick second.
Hey, man.
Anyway, how are you all? Thank you for doing this. All of your information has been really great so far.
Nice. Thank you for being here.
No problem. I will just ask the question that I typed in the comments here, so you don't have to try to do it later when you said you would check on everyone's comments afterwards.
Yeah.
So talking about how some of these newer photo modes are, let's just say, limited, like God of War, let's say. There's a lot of new there's a lot of new features in photo modes, like how Aloy can do different poses, or she can look at the camera while you rotate it, and facial animations, lighting in the new Spider-Man game, and the lighting system in that game is amazing, by the way.
Yep.
But with all of these features, how much is too much? And when does it become kind of a gimmick? And at what point does another game need such options to where that photo mode is even like, oh God, don't even worry about that game. The photo mode's not good enough. You know, that kind of thing.
Yep.
How much is too much, and what's the safe space for a photo mode to include when you go to suggest one?
Yeah, I guess it really, again, it of course depends on the photographer. Like some people will really enjoy having tons of features and stuff, and others will just get overwhelmed by it. So I guess the balance is somewhere in the middle of that. I think Days Gone has something that I think I never seen it in another photo mode, which is really great, is the possibility to have both. You have a simple tab, simple mode, and then you can switch to advanced mode, and then you have way more features and possibilities, but you don't have to have them if you don't want them, you know. So that's a really great thing. Other than that, again, as I said earlier, a Plague Tale Requiem photo mode was really enjoyable for me because very simple, and then you stay true to the game. You kind of, you cannot go too far in the creativity, which is sometimes not that great. But here I find it pretty comforting. It's kind of cool to be able to do a shot quite quick and stuff like this. So I like this simplicity. Again, God of War, except for the camera movement and range, I think it's pretty great to have a simple stuff. And on the other range, you have all the PC tools and the reshade stuff, which can be very, very daunting to dive into. But something between, like, again, Days Gone is pretty on point on this, I think, to give the both possibilities. So I don't know, at what point would you be like, oh, it's too much?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. It's like some of the faces that they make Aloy make are all cute and adorable, but I'm like, come on now, she doesn't need to stick her tongue out and be able to be smacked by a T-Rex at the same time. It's just
okay.
I know what you mean. I mean, just coming from playing that game, is you only have your few go-tos, and I'd cycle through all of the facial expressions and be like, I've just seen that hundreds of times before.
So it's
I think
it's all about how you will be able to use it or not use it. So I got an example that jumped into my head now. It's the freaking Cyberpunk stickers. They have been fixed since the time I played it, but it was really amazingly stupid to have 200 stickers on, I think it was 5 rows or 7 rows, and you couldn't just circle into them. You if you wanted to check the 187th sticker, you would have to go back. It was really super stupid.
Oh, I know what you mean.
You know, so this kind of stuff, I mean, you can have a lot of options and too many options, but still be able to just jump over it and just not use it is nice. It's fine. If you do have a lot of options that are useless and you will have to check them to be sure that they are useless, oh, that's terrible. I think that's the balance.
Mm-hmm.
I think you had it. I think you had it right. Is maybe hide it behind the advanced photo mode feature. Like I think it was Days Gone had the very basic part of the photo mode. Then you could have advanced options where you could change the colors and all that kind of thing.
I still think Days Gone has one of the best photo modes out there. I mean, again, perfectible, of course, because camera range, camera movements are not great, and they don't have the custom light that now gets a bit more out there. But still, like this kind of ideas, it really makes the difference. Sorry. So yeah, love it.
Perfect. Thanks for that question. All right.
Oh, I was just going to agree and say, like, Insomniac games, their lighting systems are crazy. You can add all these spotlights everywhere. It's so nice. It's enjoyable to have that option. But thank you for answering the question. I'll get out of here so other people have
time.
Thanks,
mate. Have a good one and keep shooting.
Oh, thank you. You too.
I will.
So I think that's it for today. So Shinobi, let me just again say thank you so much for joining. Thanks for being the first. Obviously, I know we said to start off with make these short and sharp, but I think it's such a benefit to take the time and discuss all these questions. Thanks for answering all the questions.
My pleasure. Thank you all, guys. And you're not ready for the lineup, guys. I'm telling you that. I'm just the first, but wow. Stay tuned for the next one.
Yeah, we do have a good lineup, don't we? We've got a really good lineup.
Except that one guy, but whatever. I'm not gonna.
But yeah, we're doing these every 2 weeks. We've got a lineup up until September, and it's going to be good. But thanks for being the first. Thanks for taking the time to spend with us, and thanks everybody for coming on to listen. And we'll pop the recording on the website. Again, if anybody else has got any other questions, if there's any we haven't got to, we can address those on Twitter. But thanks, everybody. Thanks, Shinobi.
Sorry, I just want to say to Dex that I really love her work as well. I mean, I could say that for anyone, but yeah, Dex, come on. You inspire me a lot. I said it.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well, thanks, everybody. Take care and have a good rest of your day, evening, morning, wherever the time is.
Thank you, guys. So happy to have you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.